Brenda J. Lilly here with the Bridge Artistic Network. I wanted to put out a small disclaimer before we launch into today's video. I am not a licensed therapist. I am just a fellow creative artist who hopes to encourage, engage, and hopefully empower other creative artists to go out and live their art dream. Okay, here we go into today's video. I hope you enjoy it. Well, good Monday morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, June 22nd, if you can believe it. And it's time for another Monday morning Kickstart. I hope you like this video. If you do, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That helps with the algorithm. But most importantly, share this video with everyone you know and love so we can continue to become who we were actually created to be. All right, on with the video, and I'll see you on the flip side. Well, good Monday morning, everybody. Brenda J. Lilly here, and I am with the Bridge Artistic Network. And it's time for a Monday morning kickstart. Huzzah! Here at the end of June, if you can believe it. I can hardly believe how fast this year is going, but the older I get, the more I realize that's just the truth of life. Life moves faster than we hope for, I think. So, today, I want to talk about this little idea called focus. Now, focus comes in a lot of shapes and sizes and comes with a lot of different definitions and meanings. You know, when you are in the midst of setting a table, you need to focus on what you are doing. So you put the plate in the right place, the forks, the spoons, the knives, all in the right place. Make sure everybody has a napkin and a cup to drink out of. Make sure that the hot plates are on the table so that when the pans come in, they have a place to sit that won't burn the table, right? So you need a small level of focus in order, what I consider small. Some people don't consider that small, but a level of focus that will allow you to get that project done. And you're ready to sit down and have dinner. I think the younger you are, I think the harder it is to focus through step by step things. Um, because if you're a certain type of individual, your mind wants to flit and float away to the things that you appreciate, love, and want to focus on. And therein lies another thing, the desire to focus on something. Now, there are other levels of focus. I've just given you a very daily focus, a small job that we have to do every single day, right? But there are other jobs throughout the day that require different levels of focus. Whether that's driving a car, you have to be able to focus on multiple things at the same time. Look, I was almost in a wreck just now getting into the building. And I was down the street, and someone who obviously isn't from here, doesn't know the road, doesn't know the way to get into the gas station that's down the street, pulled over into the breakdown lane to turn, had their signal on, but the guy right behind her was also turning, trying to get in. There was a truck trying to come out, and all of a sudden this car just stopped for the truck to let this truck out. But you see a whole row of cars coming at this truck, so he couldn't possibly make the turn he needed to in the time without stopping an entire line of traffic that's going 60 miles an hour. And there she stood, and this truck that was coming in behind her, wanting to get into the gas station as well, thought she was going to move, and she didn't move. And so all of a sudden, he had to wrench his front end around her. And then the car that was in front of me had to go into the other lane and then swerve around. And I just put my brakes on and put my hands up and stop, full stop. There was nobody behind me. And I was like, what? What are we all doing? And she stayed still. And so that truck stopped what he was about to do, and I just zoomed around them. Focus, understanding, it matters. When you lose focus in the midst of a very important job, things slip through the cracks, mistakes are made, and accidents can happen. So that's a certain kind of focus. But I want to talk about life focus. Like, what do you focus on in your life? In general, as a person, do you focus on the negative things or the positive things? Do you focus on the problem or do you focus on how to solve the problem? Now, I've had lots of conversations in the last few weeks, and I can tell you I've talked to people who are very problem focused. Not everybody. I had a lot of people that I talked to who are solution oriented. Um, but it was intriguing to me how many people I met along the way that were just stuck in problem. And that was their focus, almost afraid of solution, afraid of change and what that change would look like or uh, mean they would have to go through. It was easier to stay in problem. And I know I've talked about that a little bit on this channel, but it's a big one for human nature because it is so much easier to stay focused on the negative in this world than to believe in solution and positive, to see the curses instead of the blessings. I actually spoke to someone and right away like a couple of potential like problem solvers came up and they rejected it outright. Now when someone does that, I know as another human being on this planet that they want to sit in problem. They don't want to solve it. And what's interesting with so many of the people that I spoke to along the way is that what they were missing in their life was their connection to their purpose. So the thing that was driving them was the problem because that was the biggest thing in their life. Because they didn't understand or know what their purpose is, why they're on this planet, what they are doing. And I can tell you, when you don't have a connection to your purpose, an understanding of what makes you tick and feeds your passion side of your life and makes you go, yes, this is why I'm here. And I'm not talking about and I'm not going to say that everyone has to be working in their passion in order in other words making money at what it is they're passionate about, what it is that they're purpose driven about, right? Because you don't have to make money on it. Sometimes it's more wonderful if you don't make money on it, because then it's not the thing that keeps you in sneakers. So there's no, when things come up in this world, it doesn't become a massive like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? um but when you have that connection to your purpose, an understanding of what it is you are here for, you naturally become more calm, less flustered when things come up, and more knowledgeable, and I'm going to use the word wise, and you understand, okay, this little thing has come to me so that I can learn something. So let's learn the lesson this time so I don't have to go through this again. What are you focused on? Right now, right where you sit, just think for a minute. What is your focus? It matters. Are you focused on the negative things in your life? All the things that didn't work out, the things that haven't worked out, the things that you wished had worked out but didn't? Are you focused on the negative things that, oh, this problem has come up, oh, I don't feel this way, so blah 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 blah. Whatever. Are you focused on the negative? When you get out of bed in the morning, do you awfulize your life? You know, at the end of my mother's life, she would wake up, she was ready to die, she was ready to be gone. She didn't feel good, she was done. And she knew it. She had no quality of life towards the end. And so she would wake up and she would literally say, another day. And we would sit with her, and we would make her day as good as it could be. But she was at the end of her life. I am not there. I'm in the middle of my life. And I wake up and I go, okay, what does this day have? Let's go. And I thank the Lord for it, and I get on my way. Now, some days I wake up with a little more chagrin, depending on what I've had to do the day before or whatever. If I'm tired, you know, whatever. But because I'm connected to my passion, because I'm connected to my purpose, because I understand that what I do and how I do it is my purpose, it's the reason I'm here on the planet. When problems come up, I go, okay, let's get through this. This too shall pass. I don't imagine it's going to stymie me forever. Even when big things come up, like having to move from one country to another, letting go of some of the things you love and do, but knowing it's right because I'm attached to my purpose, and I know that where it is leading me is right. Now, I know it because I check in with God on a daily. And so my understanding is where He wants me to go. I need to do that. And I know that people listening, not everybody is there. And that's cool. But so what are you focused on? How do you maneuver when things get tough? It's important. It's important to think about these things. It's important to recognize when all you are is focused on the negative. Like if all you're doing throughout the day is complaining about every single thing, you need to take yourself aside and have a come to Jesus moment with yourself and say, hey, wait a minute. Not everything in the world is bad. Not everything in my life is bad. What is it that I'm missing? What is it that I'm not focusing on? Because I need some positive influences here in order to get up and get over whatever this thing is that's holding me back, that's stymieing me, that's making life rough right now. You need the positive in your life to bust through the negative when the negative comes. But as human beings, so often we just let the positive get buried in the dark corners of life because we get so focused on the negative. When I hear coming out of my mouth, oh, I'm tired, oh, I'm exhausted, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that, and I can hear myself talk, and I'm talking to another human being who now is having to hold that with me, look, it's okay to share your burdens with one another, 100%. But there is a point in everyone's life where you have to pull up your big girl pants or big boy pants and get on with it. You got to stop complaining, and you have to find a way to focus on the positive and find the positive thing and get back to your purpose and get on with life. Too many people nowadays are just so negatively driven, believing that nothing good is ever going to come for them, nothing good is ever going to happen. And if that's what you believe, then honestly, you'll become your own self fulfilling prophecy of doom. There is a sowing and reaping principle in this world, in this universe. And so if you sow joy, you will reap joy. If you sow goodness, you will reap goodness. If you sow out seeds of anger, hate, and mistrust, well, that's what you're going to get back. If you sow out problems, you will reap problems. If you sow out solutions, you will find solutions. That's just a truth of life. I think every one of us knows when you smile at somebody, in general, they'll smile back. When you say hello to somebody, in general, they'll say hello back. They may be taken, uh, back by someone they don't know saying hello to them, or you don't know what they're going through, or smiling at them, telling them to have a nice day. There's a give and a response. That's life. It's also life with yourself. So, what is your self talk doing to you? What are you focused on? I know so many people who berate themselves and treat themselves horrifically, and they never allow their friends or their family to do that kind of stuff to themselves. They're like, "Why are you doing that? You're a wonderful person. Why would you say that about yourself?" But then they turn around and their self talk is just as bad, but nobody's correcting it. Careful about your focus. It's important. What you focus on is important. Don't get stuck. Know your purpose and allow your purpose to spirit you on in this world. We need purpose driven people in this world right now. If more people were attached to their purpose, there would be a whole lot less fear, anger, and destruction in this world. And that's just a truth. All right. What are you focused on? My hope for you, my prayer for you this week is that you will look up and over your problem and understand what you were made for and what your purpose here is. And when you do that, solutions will come. All right. Be blessed. Have a great week. I will see you next Monday. Hey, thank you so much for watching our video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, subscribe. What are you waiting for? All right. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye.